everybody's mind has changed a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
Many
boy.
of you turncoats betraying GK and going to W7M. We're ready for map number 2.
So, good teams, they will strategize, they'll come up with counter attacks and defenses, studying the games of their opponents throughout this tournament. But the best teams, they will do that live in the server. You see an outcome of a round, your guys just attack this bomb site in a similar way with a few minor changes. And those small changes can change the entire outcome of how that round plays out, especially on a map like Clubhouse. Yeah, Bank is your methodical, top-down, kind of ABC bomb site with not that much adaptation required. Clubhouse, very much fundamentals, but very much following things to a T. And when things don't go your way, or you want to change things up, you very much can. We see bans coming out, and despite Hashoman Finken not having that much success previously on Bank, it's still going to be target banned this time around by W7M. Surprise. Didn't see that one coming. Fear or respect?
Fear or respect?
None. Ooh. Okay.
I don't know how you ban somebody if you don't have either of those.
Well, it's the random ban.
Maybe an inconvenience, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not necessarily fear. Maybe it's just a lack of desire. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say it might be a case of W7M don't envision playing
That's
themselves.
very close. That was very close.
Too close?
Closer. Get in closer. Hands. No, these are the shots. The camera's next to them.
Yeah.
He's not handheld.
No, those are they just sit there. But it might be a case of W7M not wanting to play Finka. They say, no, we don't care about this operator, so why should our opponent be able to play it if they do care about it? And things will start in a similar way for a different team. When W7M start on defense on Bank, they start open area, they're roaming all across the map. Now we see GK starting basement Clubhouse defense, doing a very extensive roam. Top floor rotates, hatches opened off, soft destruct on the floors, but we've snuck in a drone. Billy Pucks, he's got very crucial intel on where the roam is on that top portion of the map. And can say, okay, if it's clear, fly on in. If not, get those yellow pings out, find the locations, take them down, and build that early man advantage.
What's the win condition here for a successful Clubhouse defense? How many rounds are GK looking at if they want to position themselves well for the second half?
Well, if they attack the same way as on Bank, they need all 6 defense victories. But let's assume that they're decent on attacks here in Clubhouse because they did beat them last time. I think a 3-3 half, realistically, is what you're looking for GK. Tie things up.
Noodle gambling his life away in stock at the moment on that Wamai. With magnets in back pocket. Oh. Just managing to get away from JV92. Key not having the same fate.
Loading mag!
No, not at all. It's a quick one for W7M. Got that top floor, now on the primary floor. You see the kite balls in action, but they got answers. They got Thatcher, KC can breach that apart. Ibana as well. Open up those hatches, and again, it's about ABCs now. They got that early advantage, slow things down. Set up your flying drones, don't die to the C4s, and just really right now, just make sure you get everything opened up, apply pressure everywhere, and see where the bomb site is weakest.
I like that attempt by Leader, even if it doesn't ultimately pay off. Half of the round now gone. An operator who really didn't see a lot of play on Bank, but whose pick rate has surged as Gridlock, and she will have some prominence now with Nade bringing her right away. If you're fearing a potential retake from above, those track stingers are especially handy as anti-flank measures. The fact that W7M has a numbers advantage means that they can stick somebody on flank watch as well.
Yeah, they can. And that's the thing right now, they still got a minute to work with. Sledge rotating over, it's gonna be Belly Pox, was on drone earlier. Here we see the beautiful utility, EMP goes out, X-Cowers follow, second EMP goes out as well to ensure that if a kite clock trick was happening, it gets shut down immediately. So now, W7M, they got everything they want. Their next step now is choose, are we gonna go for blue attack? And it's gonna be a kitchen hatch drop because the hatch has not yet been opened up. But there's more X-Cowers in JV92's pocket, 10 more to go.
40 seconds left, but another body will hit the floor from Geekay. As Trixt is down for the count. Denade, who tosses in a grenade. Noodle gets the refrag before soldiering away, losing half of his HP. He was involved in an early altercation as well. Geekay losing the safety they had in Church, but firing back as Noodle is good for 3 before being put in the ground by Fellapox. Now Leader's next in line, but he looks the wrong way. The opening created by W7M, so far flummoxing Geekay. Hashom with the smart glass is in! Fellapox seals the deal in round number 1. W7M take the first round.
And now let's look back at that early beginning of that round. If W7M don't find the opening kill, what happens then? That 5 versus 4 becomes a 5 versus 5, and it comes down to those very close moments. The 1v1s, the 1v2s, that can make or break the round. The only criticism there I have with GK, they didn't really commit to the roam. It was a very early fallback, one member stuck around, died early, and you just play 4 guys on site. On Bank, that doesn't really go all that poorly on like basement defense because you got the C4s, you got the plant deny, and it's much more limited where attackers can be coming from. But on Clubhouse, you got 3 separate hatches, you got dirt tunnel, you got main staircase, blue staircase, you can flank from garage. So all of a sudden, falling back early with a numbers disadvantage, not where you wanna be. Then they swing out, they try and bring the fight to their opponents because they got the yellow ping information. And it doesn't work out for Trixt, but it works out for Noodle. 2 kills to follow up, and the 3rd in the main staircase. And it looked like that right there was a round-winning play, but no. In the 2v2, it was W7M just a little bit stronger that gets the round.
5 seconds to go.
A rough go of it for GK, but still a relatively good first round for them, all things considered.
Oh, and they're gonna go back to the same bomb set as well.
Not gonna really change much up when it comes to that bomb site, but they will blow up their operator composition.
Yeah, the Solus here, they recognize that W7M had too much intel in the beginning of that round. They must have a good prep phase drones. So Hashom on the Solus now can say, hey, now they have no intel, or if they do have it, they can locate it, shut it down. But it's gonna be more of a fake roam, if you will. It's Trixt playing inside a bar early on, then falling back. Now it's Hashom on the main staircase, looking for that final drone perhaps, to then fall back. So they have surrendered the roam entirely now. W7 don't know this exactly, they're still kind of throwing everything out, but once they figure it out, it's going to be a very, very big advantage in terms of time that the attackers have to work with.
It's nice to see a Grim on the board as well for the attackers, an operator whose pick rate has increased since some changes were had, but you remember, this was played back in Copenhagen. I think they even played him all the way back at SI on Cafe when Grim was decidedly a worse operator. The flank watch that we've seen being rotated between Nomad, Gridlock, and to an extent, that Grim, it is good to see the different applications that those operators are used in.
So if you open up the bar hatch now, you're prone to a C4 off through the hatch. You don't find the Valkyrie camera first. And they're fishing right now. It's going to be a utility game first. The EMPs, the X-Kairos, the Kai Claws. If you can trick the hatch successfully, stall for more time, deny more X-Kairo pellets, and deny a way in for the attackers, you're doing great. But that's not the focus right now. It's going to be Kitchen Hatch first. Blue's already opened up as well, but JB taking an early fight.
And maybe a bit needlessly, because I don't know if Noodle's gotten the down. A grenade goes out by Hashom. GK on the board first. It's Electro Shuffle now as a second Kaid Claw will go. Put in pocket to get juggled. Will it work? No. Trixt will have to get out of there, and he leans back to give him the speed buff. But he can get out of dodge faster.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost feel like he might have had if he had stuck it actually. At least it would have been very, very close, but he knows better. He peels back, keeps it in pocket, denies something else instead. That church wall perhaps. In for now is defenders, no church. Oh, dirt tunnel is clear.
What was that for
Blue is under
How does he get away from KZ and Blue?
Running back and forth. This nade, that gets the injury. That could be a planned setup. Doesn't
get anything. Fellapox will attempt again. The smoke of Key right now inside of dirt. The drop from the Osa. Nade somehow surviving. W7M striking twice. Noodle with 1 kill. Key attempting to stop the diffuser from going down. Not successful so far, as Noodle is just playing the keep away game. Nade with the diffuser in hand. It's all up to Hashom, who dies. W7M so formidable. 2-0.
You can really tell the experience in that round between these two teams is the big difference maker. W7M, they had a really good read on situation. Okay, Osa is going to be our way into the bomb site, get that plan down. Grim can bait either on the kitchen edge or on the blue side of the portion of the map, and then you just throw those grenades, drop with it, and put down a Talon shield, plant behind it. And Geekay, they're fighting every single portion of the map. They're fighting blue, they're fighting Minces, they're fighting Motorheads, they're fighting kitchen edge, they're trying to deny the plant there as well. And it's almost like Geekay needs to understand what's the important part of this round. Do you want to shut down the flank first, or do you want to shut down the plant? Because you're trying to do everything at once, you're spreading yourself so thin. And then all of a sudden, you're looking at more attacking guns facing your direction. You're a single defender. You're not going to overcome that obstacle. So they die in those positions. They lose those gunfights. And rightfully so, because they arguably misplayed right here. The walk down blue gets the double kill. Noodle sprinting back and forth the entire round downstairs in blue, and eventually gets found by KC. But a very well thought out round from W7M.
He lived far longer than we might have thought, Nick.
Absolutely.
In that position, wasting time. No second attempt at laundry supply room now after GK's maybe not the most proficient. Instead, they'll go upstairs. Not the bomb site you think.
Oh, it's not as easy as it is that.
Hold on a second. It's a rat angle from Trixt. That hallway door. Goodbye to KZ. No Nook, no surprises to be had now on the bomb site.
It's a big kill. Half the nade's gone as well, and I will say, whenever I play ranked and I die to that angle, it is the closest thing to make me all dead for. It is the worst to go down prone below the barricade in the hallway of kitchen. Like, what are you doing there? That's what happens if you don't pay respect, drone things out, but also the benefit of having a solos in defense, you know where the drones are going to be at. If you know that portion of the map is clear, go for that spawn peek. They have no intel. That's gonna slow things down. The lurk is gone from KC's Nuke. The bandit trick could be successful.
Hashom will get the bandit battery down, and there it goes.
Beautiful. And
that happened because the crowd wasn't cheering loud enough. There's no way you hear that. They're screaming their lungs out.
It was the jammer denies the drone hole, so Hertz or Nate couldn't drone in through to see if Bandit was in fact tricking that wall, but you'd almost have to assume, because where else would Bandit be playing at? He's not playing CC, that wall's already opened up, so they gambled it, knowing they got a second exothermic charge in pocket, but now things are gonna slow down more. And W7M, they've rotated off the Kusi, they're not gonna breach that wall, at least not yet, they're gonna go for the roam clear instead from CC over.
Noodle still holding court at top red. Thrown in his way, Tricks down below, but gets punished by Fellapox, who's yet to die so far on this map. I might have spoken a bit too soon as a flash now goes out and Noodle escapes with his life intact.
He's out. That's smart. They get the opening kill to spawn peek earlier, they get that follow-up trade now, they got that numbers advantage now, you can sacrifice the roam, there's no shield, there's no like reinforcements really, they haven't invested that much of that portion of the map. So it's pretty weak. Instead, run back to bar, off the main stairs he will go and play that 4v3 on side. It's a very strong bomb side to set up those crossfires on this gym defense.
JB92 will now head over towards the gym or bedroom windows, depending which one he chooses to engage from. These players from GK have eluded them, staying out of reach. A nice pre-fire that has shown it's his mark on the board far earlier than we saw on Bank. Only two remain from W7M. They've taken Hashom out, but with 30 seconds left. The bigger issue now is getting into the site, getting the diffuser down. Noodle decides to swing again. He likes these engagements. W7M being chipped away at nade down for the count. Key, the final two picks. A successful round for GK nets them their first round win.
And a much more decisive one as well. The backbone of that gym bomb site, the most important part for the defense to hold on to is that office portion. It's not a bomb site itself, but it kind of connects everything together. When you only got those 3 attackers alive from W7M, you don't really have the manpower to take office control. You want window presence, you want connector presence, but then you also want office presence. You have 3 members alive in 3 very separate positions. So I like that they went 2 guys window, 1 guy connector, and tried to play closer together. But realistically speaking, you're just not gonna win that round unless GK make a massive blunder of a mistake, and they don't. They played a stable, consistent round all the way through. The bandit trick early on, the rotation from Noodle, fighting back when they had to, and then leaving territory off the attackers when they didn't need to any longer. And that's also with Tricks dying relatively early on, but this right here, Noodle running down, massive. Hasham, find that window pick, massive as well. The round plays out, yellow pings, the crossfires, no way in for W7M. They went upstairs, they found success, they're gonna stay upstairs. CCTV is next, and we see this catwalk rafters. Observation blockers for the drones, ADSs as well. But there's no Asami. It's been banned out by the attack inside. And that means that it's much more hard, it's harder to hold on to, rather. So I mean, Noodle, with the Momai disc in pocket, we can sit in that position, but if W7M want to pick it apart, well, they might not want to do that, actually. They have no grenades. They have no capital fire. They have no ways to clear Noodle from the Raptor's position outside of a bunch of flashbangs and gunplay. So they're probably going to go for Connector Breach instead. Go Master Bedroom Roam clear, if I had to guess.
There's the hatch from above, and now over towards construction. Single Selman waiting for a kill from construction. Nobody wants to give it to him. KZ picked off early yet again. Logic bombs go out, maybe to hold GK in place as they move their way through Jim. Key drone down, hunted down. Two separate players engaging, but he's managing to get away. That's your own teammates. That's not supposed to happen.
It's not, and there's one more
and he pays for it, Nick.
They didn't drone it out. I mean, this is sloppy from W7M.
Birds sending numbers as close as they can, back to even, but still GK doubling up on W7M with a ton of time left. Hunting down below, but able to find much. Most players from GK have coalesced around the bomb site upstairs. Fellapok's not too far removed, but he'll wade through construction. He'd opened it up earlier on.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you break this apart? You gotta win some crazy gunfights if you're Fellapok, because Hertz is downstairs, so he's all alone.
I show him holding that really tight angle, and now Gumines will go out as well. I don't know if Fellapok is aware of how close proximity he is. Super shorty in hand, the two Gumines directly through the door. It really does pack a punch, but just not enough. Fellapok's walking away with a single point of HP. Toxic canister will reduce him to nothing, but it's the SMG-11 to do that instead. Herds charging up red stairs. Another toxic gas canister tossed out. Herds taking damage, but still walking forwards. Not looking through the drone hole. Leader shooting away. GK with 2 rounds now to match W7M, and we've got a tie game.
I mean, Hasham was caught playing the wrong game there. I thought he was playing Pokemon. Throwing the ball at Fellapok's feet saying, "Can I catch you?" Well, no. 1 HP left for Fellapok. He gets the kill instead. It's looking good for GK. They're finding kind of like their momentum, how to play these rounds, when to push, when to let go, and finding those kills. And I gotta say, for the first time in this best of 3 so far, I was actually disappointed in W7M's operator lineup. Again, no grenades, no capital fire, no Grim, no way to deal with CCTV garage portion of the map. So they're forced into a full roam clear. And funny enough, GK, they had 2-3 roamers on Master Bedroom side of the map, so they're so ready for it. And it's all guns placed from W7M, but they're a util team. They're so proficient at setting things up, and in this round, they didn't do that. They just fell by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, you called it really early on. Poor drone work, sloppy entry.
Attackers bomb.
Go figure, it's the 2 bomb sites that are maybe a bit more unorthodox in how teams want to go for a defensive setup. That caused some serious issues with W7M's entry. Both times GK has defended the downstairs bomb site, they have failed. They'll try a 3rd time, hope for different results.
I'm not a fan of this. I mean, it can work. It absolutely can. It's been close, relatively close.
I mean, where do you go? You gotta go stage. That's your only other option.
I want to see them go bar. That's exactly it. They play top 4 bomb sites. They're roaming on the map dynamically, and it wins the rounds. Now they're going to go back to the basement where they're going to be locking themselves in, you know, not be able to move a whole lot. Right now, they do have Key on the room top floor, but if he gets droned out, they run upstairs, he's probably going to die as well. We'll see how they do it, though. They got different operators, the Mute and the Mousy for drone intel deny, and Noodle actually also has run up the staircase to support his teammate of Key.
Noodle's really been the wild card through these last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Rome has been unpredictable. Has gotten under the skin of W7M. I mean, he was a factor back in round number 2, but not in the right way. lived far longer than we thought over in blue. This time, playing from above.
Time for a wake-up call.
There goes a logic bomb, and Herds will be very fast to follow up, but guess who it is to get the first kill for GK? Noodle. Tearing strips through Herds.
Yeah, he's just moving, beeping and bopping. He's weaving this top floor around. He's moving a lot, but he stays alive, and has Shom downstairs, finds JV92 as well.
A Shom on the board. Noodle drops, that's what he gets, but there's again a bit of sloppiness. They're just falling by the wayside. I mean, if you're going to run a Mute Mozzie combo, you're gonna be able to capitalize off a lack of information, and that's what GK is doing. W7M really don't have an answer for the Mute and Mozzie that we see, and this is like 2020. Oh, nice nade by Nade, living up to his namesake. This is like 2020 Siege right now.
Yeah.
With Mute and Mozzie dominating Clubhouse.
Yeah, and they go for Capital. No Jackals. It's like they know or should know the roam is very present, but they go for util basement, you know, bomb site hitting operators instead. It's a bit of a misjudge there from W7M.
Bomb has been
A
located.
Shom on this tight angle inside of Moto. Waiting for one of the two remaining players from W7M to press forward, but they decide that that's not the play to be had. Instead, over towards Stock they'll go. 3 sets of track singers available for the gridlock of Nade. Grenades 2, EMP drops. Grenade tossed in, down towards blue, no target to be had. W7M now struggling. Fighting against shadows. Tricked with the Nitro Cell, positioned. And if thrown so gracefully, could do damage. Nade shoots it away, but you gotta walk through 2 areas that are being watched quite intently by GK. They get one, Trix gets both. 3 rounds in a row, GK with the lead.
They got that momentum. Once they got it on bank, it was a very close first map, and they only really lost the way that they did because, well, the attacks from GK didn't go their way. Now, if they go 4-2.5 and take this next defensive round, they have done more than they need to do to have a realistic shot at winning Clubhouse. But they need to show up in the attack inside. You cannot win a best of 1 or a best of 3 by only being good on half of the rounds you're supposed to be playing on one side. But on defense, GK, they are the real deal. But they gotta show us more after this upcoming final defensive rounds, where they will take us to that gym bomb site, so Bar will not be played this time around.
This is where everything started to go bad for W7M as well, right?
Yeah.
Running head first into the players from GK with limited information at their disposal. And GK seemingly finding the secret sauce at that point. Using the Mute, using the Mozzie, using a Solus every single round almost in order to impose their will on W7M.
5 seconds
Now you
left.
said that the win condition for GK in this first half was 3 rounds. They've accomplished that.
They have.
They can do
Attackers are
better
heading
than
out
what
to
you
defuse the
said
bomb.
if they prevail on the site. That started this streak back in round number 3.
I also said that good teams, they have prep work, they come into it, and they, you know, they use the paper that they have. But great teams will make adaptations live in the server on a round-by-round basis. GK, they have been doing that better, in my opinion, than that of W7M so far in Clubhouse in terms of operators. Okay, GK realized that W7M locked droning, so they play Solus, Mozzie Mute a whole lot. W7M, they see that GK are roaming a lot, but they don't play Jackal. They play Dokkaebi half the rounds, but there's no Jackal. They play Capital. They don't play the Grim previously either. They're not playing the shield operators despite not being banned out. So I really like this matchup so far. Bit of utility play here. Maverick Torch to either get the Mute Jammer, Experiment Charge goes off afterwards, and that wall will be opened up in... There we go, just a second.
This is on the part of the map that we saw the Selmas get thrown to last time on the Ace. But now you're going to bring an operator who doesn't really have that high of a pick rate so far, and that's Thermite. Or sorry, that's Maverick to accompany the Thermite.
Yep. It's a nice counter. Wait,
Oh,
go for it. Yep.
And Herds will sprint on in. JV92 is dead. GK Reed into this, winning the duels. Hitting their marks. Bellapox trying his best. It's not good enough. Nade is almost in the bomb site. 3 players from GK remain. Attempting a duel. Giving his position away. They got him on cam. We've only got the perspective of one, but the rest of GK can close in as need be. Nade will likely play for picks with a little over a minute to go.
Rose, I mean, Nate's looking for it. Holding the ankles, waiting for the inexperienced players of Geekay to make that swing and make that mistake and isolate the 1v1s, but they're not going to give it to him.
Halfway through the defuse plant, there's a nitro cell to go out. Nade concerned with different angles. Ashom gets the final kill. 4 rounds in a row. GK take the first half.
Can you believe it? 3-3 expectation. They go 4-2, 4 rounds in a row, convincingly. They get rushed, they read it, they hold it, they deny it. The crowd believes and I believe as well. So, we got the analyst of GK, Waisu. Please talk to us here.
Hello guys.
Something. Hello. I want to ask you, if you don't mind, what was going on backstage after map number 1? You guys, were down 0-6, you almost made the comeback. What was your focus going to Clubhouse?
The main part was confidence, to be honest. I mean, we were not playing that bad, but we weren't getting that trace. So we focused on keep humble as a team, saying that Clubhouse was a good map. We won this team on Clubhouse. We knew that they're going to pick it to do counter analysis, and that's what they did. But at the end of the day, we are here because we trust on ourselves, playstyle, traits, amazing players that we have. And that's the message that we bring to them. Just enjoy the experience, and we can beat them if we are like 100% confident with ourselves.
You mentioned confidence. When you won that first round all the way back on Bank, did you see something change in the way that the team were playing?
Yeah, of course. Not only winning the first round, but for example, that has some round that gives 1 tap and triple kill.
Yeah.
As far as you start getting confident with yourself, as Hassan did, the teams start working. And that's what happens in the phase 2 and phase 1, winning those teams and coming with victories. So yeah, of course, we are a very emotional team.
So I have 1, maybe 2 more questions for you, Wasu. Seeing how Clubhouse is playing out so far, I feel like GK are doing a great job at counteracting W7M round by round with operators, right? They like droning. You guys play Mossy, Mute, Solus, for example. Was that something that you pre-planned before this, or is it the players adapting as it's happening?
Well, we talk about a bit. We have seen the Clubhouse, not only our Clubhouse versus them, but also the Clubhouse they play versus SSG.
Yeah.
And we talk about it, but to be honest, it's all not only the players' work, that of course Leader, Nadal, and Key are bringing a lot of adaptation, and that's so fucking good. But also about Alo. Alo's work, not only this game, but all the major and all the time that we have been together in Geekay was amazing. He's probably, I'm going to say it, one of the best coaches in the world right now.
Wow.
And he has been working as fuck for this. So yeah, that's what we got.
Last question, got to be really quick. How much does having the crowd behind you help this team?
A lot. Thank you so much. We didn't expect this. We love you guys, and thanks for all the help.
Thank you, Wasu. Thank you so much. That was very insightful, I gotta say. What a pleasure that is. What an honor. Thank you so much for choosing to come on here while your team is playing. I know it's nerve-wracking, but good news for you. You guys are winning right now. You're up 4-2 in the second map to tie things up. W7M, I mean, it was spoken of by Wasu, like the counterplay here, reading their opponent, preparing for these outcomes, and then adapting in the serve because the prep work is there. But JV says, no, I don't care about the prep work. I'll go for the swing early and get the kill into Hasham.
Well, we had a bit of a tech issue, which is why that interview got a little bit longer than I think we had originally anticipated. It allowed the teams maybe to settle some nerves a little bit. They can't talk to each other during tech issues. But if you're W7M, there's gotta be some weight after that almost comeback in map 1, and now what we've seen from GK through this map as well. W7M obviously will favor this defender-sided Clubhouse. Coming into the second half, I don't think they're too worried. But I can't help but imagine that part of their own confidence has been chipped away at with the way that GK have started this map.
Oh yeah, I mean, you saw in the ban phase when GK asked, did you ban Fink out of respect, out of fear? They said none. I think W7M, they're starting to respect GK more and more as every round is playing through right now, because it is much closer than it should be. And I will say, GK convincing rounds in defense, but the big question for me was, how are they gonna do on attack? their pace right now. They're quick in the building, but they lost a member early to a spawn peak, basically, or to him walking dirt early. Now they open up the hatches, breaking the software, etc. With a minute and 14 to go, their pace is actually really good and really quickly, and Hurts, he's pulling a Noodle, but he doesn't get away with his life intact.
If anybody knows that position, it's Noodle, who did the exact same thing himself. This time he said, no, I'm the only person who gets to escape from blue. And I'm gonna make you pay for it! 3 kills to be had from the same position. W7M started this round off well, but it won't end well. 5 stitched together now for Geekay.
Noodle was doing the interview before the game started, and he didn't say very many words. He's relatively new to this. He's a young player, but he said, you know what, I'll do the talking in the server. This man on your screen right now, Noodle, popping off in map number 1, popping off as well here in map number 2, leading the entry, finding multi-kill after multi-kill, and saying, you know what, you can try and get that crossfire going, I will tear it apart. And with that round going that way so convincingly, and W7M being down 2-5, they have called their tactical timeout. They certainly have either fear or respect, or maybe a little bit of both right now in this map.
Maybe not for the Finkas. I mean, Hashom was not exactly the best Finka on Bank, so I think what they said was correct. But
Fair.
Either way, I mean, there's obviously some fear from W7M. This is not the matchup that they had expected. Certainly not the result that they'd expected. If 3-3 as a first half was the win condition for GK, they are running away with the expectation game.
They are. No, they absolutely are. And again, I want to praise the small things because I think it's so important. The operator selection, what operators they're playing, where their positions are. They're reading on the map itself and punishing, finding those very small gaps from W7M. It's hard to do, but they make it look relatively easy right now. And it's a full team effort. Great pick from Trix. Flashbang in hand. You see Noodle. He knows how much he did in that round. It's a nice cosplay.
Noodle is 19 years old, by the way, just in case you're wondering about the age of some of these players competing
young.
on
10
stage.
seconds to go.
19 years young, Parker.
5 seconds remaining.
I was trying to think back to either phase 1 or phase 2, and we were talking about the ages of the players that were competing. And how, like, being 23 years old makes you among the oldest people here competing on stage.
Yeah, they also bleed. They had the same start. Mentalist was 23, rest were like 18, 19, 20. GK aren't all that far off that mark. I mean, Leader Noodle got some experience in Tier 1 before, but not all that much, especially with a live crowd in the quarterfinals. So you're leading this team while being basically as quote-unquote inexperienced as the rest of the squad with a substitute. I gotta say that Leader is not supposed to be here, but he is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, superstar of the previous round and the best player statistically for GK, Noodle removed. The Monty looked for a follow-up. This is Shom now inside a garage, posturing, standing there menacingly.
I mean, we know the garage is pretty free. JV's there with Nishin, but this is what W7M didn't do themselves. They couldn't clear out Catwalk. The thing is, while the Monty's inside a garage, Key's hung down a room and bar, Hurts gets shut down because Leader's got to follow up, so the Monty's is a distraction game right now. No one's there to support him. It's about their own clear.
Key had information onto the Fenrir, but he's not the one to take Herds out. JV still persisting right now. This standoff for the ages.
No, don't do it.
Trying to bait him into the play. There's a portion of that garage wall where you might be able to spot JV92, but right now, the Brazilians are not taking the bait.
I mean, they're waiting, right? They're holding each other hostage inside a garage. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. And it's a 4v4 round. The thing is, GK eventually gotta come around to this garage portion of the map, clear out JV, or strike elsewhere, because right now they're kind of stalling. They don't want to do that, so they gotta stop making a proactive play and take down JV preferably.
The Shom now trudging up the catwalk stairs. Impact goes out. Some damage to be done. The gas missing, but there's the ping. Still trying to bait JV92 into this engagement. GK are losing time. They have to do something to deal with this Montaigne, and there we go. You gotta be shitting me! How did Hasham win that? Advantage now favoring GK with 30 seconds left. They've got a wide open B bomb site, but they have to worry about the cross at the top of red. Hashom still working his way forward. He's got all this map control that he freed up earlier on. KZ now dropped as well. Smoke goes out, Hasham will die to that. Diffuser in the hands of Leader, so you don't have to worry too much. Nade in a very pivotal spot. KZ still down, Nade will go down below. He's with Felipox, but they have no post plant. Followed up on, the Nitro Cell has claimed their own teammate. Shotgun out, and GK get away with it! 6-2 the scoreline, it's map point for GK.
For a team that doesn't have the experience to play these kinds of rounds, they are putting on a show. GK with the problem solved after problem solved after problem solved. They clear catwalk, they approach the site, they clear the C4 downstairs. They plant in the right location with the right cover in the right place at the right time. And despite being an even man count, 3 versus 3, they looked like they had an army behind them on the attacking side. Even though they did not. They're up a match point now. And remember, W7M, they picked Clubhouse. They said, we'll take the rematch. We'll happily go there. Need I remind you, last time these two teams played each other in Phase 2 on the first day, it was also in Clubhouse. GK won 7-4. They might win this 2 rounds quicker. If they win this following round, they can go 7-2 and increase that scoreline and set themselves up perfectly for the 3rd and final map. But comebacks are possible. We almost saw GK do it themselves on Bank. W7M, they're gonna do something that some players love to see it, some players hate to see it. They're gonna bring out the Clash on defense. You don't see this very often on Clubhouse, and certainly not on Gym.
Clash, yay or boo?
They don't like it. What about...
Took too long to make up your mind.
Last time the crowd was cheering for GK, they are down on match point. This time, very much in the lead, so the script has completely changed between the first 2 maps. And I think all eyes right now are gonna be on Nade and JV roaming together on this Cass side of the map, because they're gonna hold on to the extension right now. The drones are coming out, they see this hold, and they're gonna make a very quick decision here. Are they gonna pick it apart in the attack or rotate elsewhere? Clash is hard to deal with. They don't have much to do. They have 1 set of grenades. That's it. No capital fire, no Kali, no Nomad, no Sophia, no actual counterplay. And the nades aren't even there because he's on Jacuzzi's side.
Well, a very faithful round for W7M, who've thrown everything at the wall, but just nothing will stick at this point. Use your timeout. You won the first 2 rounds in relatively dominant fashion, but then have been trailing every step of the way. Oregon, by the way, is map number 3. And I imagine between these 2 teams, it will not be Borigan, as you like to call it.
No.
Not you, the crowd.
I'm speaking on behalf of the crowd here.
Oh, okay.
There's no way it's going to be a Borigan.
Let's play from Key, waiting for the Solus. Hurts!
Beautiful.
Baited in. It's KZ, though, to take all the fire and all the smoke. A follow-up logic bomb. Hurts, so persistent in this spot in bathroom. It's on the razor's edge. Hurts and JV combining for 5 kills. Pretty much tells the full story. Shield on the back, nade with sidearm in hand. Taking out Hashom. Now there's a smoke to conceal Herds' position. EMP goes in, Herds still stuck in this spot. Do they know it though? Down goes Noodle as JV92 is there. The defenders winning their engagements. GK still in this though. Nade drops, JV92 does as well. All onto the shoulders of Leader. In a 1v2, a very precarious position. The top of main stairs, Herds has pulled out the shotgun. Leader at full HP. He's out dusted by Felipox. W7M break the streak. They're still in this clubhouse map.
1 more round. Yes, that's all they need. A close attempt of a semi-rush there on Jacuzzi, and 1 gunfight could have changed the outcome of the round. But we seem to barely survive it. The Clash was picked and played, but didn't really have much of an impact in the round. It was the shield behind the back, gun up and active instead. Likely because they lost a member early on. But small things, right? GK go for the Jacuzzi Breach, and then it's just like Thermite walks up there, breach the wall, walks in. No. They have a guy holding the ankle for the possible impact deny from Bathroom. Then Thermite rotates over, and either they will guarantee get the wall opened up, or they will bait a possible free pick right here. Beautiful. These very small things that I love to see, because it just shows that the players and the team of GK in this situation, they're taking an extra step. They're just saying, hey guys, I need you to do this for me so I can accomplish this for you.
10 seconds remaining.
No, none of that.
He really seized the moment there.
All out.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
All right, fine. Can I get a Hoya?
Attackers have located a bomb.
You know, you're like a proud father.
My parents watch this.
How very mature of you.
All right, W7M showing some signs of life. They'll go downstairs to church. This is where I think GK broke their proverbial back and forced the timeout of W7M. Greg's attempting to light up KZ as the first bit of action unfolds. JV, KZ, and Herds need to lead the way on this team in kills. They are not doing so. Felipox and Nade combining for 16 kills. Despite the fact that W7M only have 3 rounds to their name, that is very impressive.
Yeah.
But as we know, when we used to talk about your team, and when you and Fabian would lead the way, or Goga and Fabian would lead the way, that generally means something is going wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if your frontliners are not getting their job done successfully, then there's a gap somewhere, there's an issue, and it can be the supportive cast not doing enough, or it can just, of course, be individual performances. JV going 3-8. He was like 9-1 on Bang, I believe, before he started dying later on, before the side swap came through, and he's just not really been seen or heard much of so far in Clubhouse. But I think you can kind of tell the pressure and nerves are getting to GK here. Playing a bit slower, playing a bit more laid back. They haven't fully roamed through the map. I don't know if they know that Philbox is roaming, but they'll find out later on. He's got that primary shotgun, he's got the C4, but they're looking at the hatches, so they're assuming there's someone up there, but they have no idea where he actually is.
Felipox has been phenomenal through both maps so far. Might be hard to penetrate the Brazilian market because they don't often speak English, but I mean, Felipox has been doing a great job of tying that in. Hold on a second here. Doing drops, he's taking matters into his own hands. He doesn't want this match to go on any longer than it needs to. Now W7M's been boxed out entirely. Noodle dropped. W7M actually winning. They spot Hashom in the post plant. Leader with a big pick. Here's one. Thunderous footsteps above as Felipox walking down main stairs. Leader pivoting, but he loses the duel. Hashom in a 1v2. The timer running. GK could win this one. It's real ugly. Hashom giving his position away, but the youngster buckles under pressure, and W7M have no problem clearing out the post plant.
When you're in those 1v2s on match point, the only way to get better is through experience, through failing, through losing those rounds. And Hashom has not been here many times on a stage like this before, if ever. He played it as he wanted to go on the offense, look for the swing. He didn't win the gunfight, he shook a little bit, so he plays it passive. He took a breather, said, you know what, I'm gonna try it one more time. The timing didn't quite favor him. He was looking left and he got swung from the right. Things did not line up. And you see from W7M's player cams, they know they're just way too close for comfort. It's been a match point for the last 2 rounds, and I think we're gonna need a couple of more before things are all said and done. But what a great opening here. The grenade, the instant off-pace drop, gets the second kill, pushes through the AKs, denies the camera, the bulletproof, but then things fall apart. They rush the plant attempt when players were not necessarily in the right positions to go for it, when things were not stable enough. So while the plant goes down, they lose 3 bodies. It comes down to that faithful 2v2, which they lost ultimately.
Remaining.
Are we about to witness the opposite of what happened in map number 1, where it looked like GK was going to make the comeback happen, and then hearts broke at the final moment? Same could be had for W7M, but I I mean, again, W7M playing the favored side on Clubhouse. It's their map, and while they have been knocked off stride several times, and they are still on the razor's edge of defeat,
Yeah.
you can never count out this W7M squad. They've been magnificent so far this year. Now, if you recall, the last time that Amonte was brought by Geekay onto this bomb site, JV92 had his hands full. It was a stare down for well over 2 minutes into the round. Small difference is that JV92 is now in a relatively safer position, and he's got KZ for backup. But the way that GK is approaching this garage is very similar. Now, they're opening up those garage walls, and they also have the Monty still breathing down their neck.
But adaptations are made. KC set for support, got the one-mitis to stop the capital fire, which is exactly what GK brought to the table, but nades are coming out.
Oh!
Marks though.
Better coordination this time, but KZ is still up there. There's a yokai as well. A bit of disorientation. There's no way Hasham pulls out. Oh, no. I was gonna say he doesn't do it again, right? No, leader's there instead. Key the first to go down on side of GK. JV92 still wounded. Nade swings the breach. He dies to leader. Herds is the only one standing. GK just need a single kill. That's it. Inside of cash. Maybe some utility to be had for the Echo. This will be a waiting game. The Monty's there as well. JV92 bleeds out. It really is all up to Herds in this position. As GK will run on in. They're sure giving ample opportunity, but Hassan sends us to map 3.
It's all about the Monty.